Hello, my friends, and welcome to Youth Potential, a channel dedicated to helping young people with mental health problems. I have two books available, 102 Distraction Techniques and Self-Harm to Self-Harmony. Both of these books are only available on Amazon. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hello, my friend Scott here representing Youth Potential. Thank you very much for voting on this video. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 really simple and practical things that really help me out when my emotions feel really intense. Specifically, I'm going to be kind of covering 5 particular sort of mindsets that I regularly experience, and you've probably regularly experienced them too, or maybe it's new to you and you don't know what the best thing to do about it is. So I've handpicked 5, the most common ones that I experience, and then I've got a really simple distraction or coping strategy for each of those 5 emotions. Now, some of them might seem really obvious, but I'm going to try and break it down and go into great detail about why these things are as useful as they are. The 5 emotions or mindsets I'm going to be covering today are when you feel depressed, when you feel anxious, when you feel frustrated, when you can't rationalize what's going on in your mind, and self-harm urges. Okay? So, without further ado, let me go over to an illustration. When the depression feels really intense, lay on your bed in the fetal position with some music on and cuddle up to a plush. The whole idea of this distraction or coping mechanism is to kind of soften the blow of that intense depression. When you feel depressed, you don't really want to do too much. So the idea is to try and make your body as comfortable as physically possible. So laying in the fetal position is one of the most natural positions our body can be in, because that's how we are before we're born. And there's just something about being in that position that actually brings comfort to us. The idea of cuddling something is, again, something sensory to comfort you physically, but also that does help you actually get to sleep. It's a lot easier to fall asleep naturally in a cuddling position. And the idea of the music is obviously just to give you something that you can relate to, something that can perhaps sort of translate your feelings into words, something relatable. And it's obviously just another thing that affects one of the senses. So again, you're just trying to keep yourself as physically and emotionally comfortable as possible. When intense anxiety comes on, or you can feel a panic attack is about to happen, practice something called square breathing. It's really going to help you get your breathing and your heart rate under control. Okay, so square breathing is pretty much what it says on the tin, and the idea of it is to help you during moments of intense anxiety. That feeling that you get when a panic attack's just about to arise. I mean, you can apply this during an acute episode of anxiety, but it's just as useful during an intense episode. So square breathing. The reason it's called square breathing is because what you do is you have 4 lots of breathing timings to concentrate on. Okay? So imagine a square, just like I've drawn on here. You breathe in for 3 seconds. Okay? 3 seconds. Once that breath is in, you hold it there for 3 more seconds. Then you breathe out for another 3 seconds. Once you have finished exhaling, hold that empty breath for 3 seconds. And then repeat the process. So you breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, breathe out for 3 seconds, and hold that for 3 seconds. Now, the idea of breathing in such a manner, controlling your breathing is going to help you control your heart rate. And your heart rate and your breathing is what's affected physically the most during moments of anxiety. Obviously, you're going to have thoughts in your head that are flashing left, right, and centre. But to get a hold of the situation, you assimilate this. Excuse me. 3 seconds of inhaling, holding that for 3 seconds, exhaling for 3 seconds, and then holding that for 3 seconds, and repeating the process. Now, I have applied this many times to avoid a full-on panic attack, and it has worked almost every single time. Sometimes I'll have to count a square multiple times. Sometimes I will have to do 4 seconds around each side instead of 3. But that's okay. I know my drawing's rubbish, don't laugh. Sometimes it's 4. Okay, start with 3. If you don't feel like that's working, jump to 4. Very simple, very practical, completely usable. When you're dealing with anger and frustration, you can walk, talk, and fidget. When you feel angry and frustrated, it's really easy to have sort of like involuntary bodily sort of movements. It's because, imagine the pressure is kind of building up within us, really, really angry. So converting that into something more physical is going to help us redirect that feeling of anger and frustration into something that isn't so destructive. So walking, obviously, as soon as you're walking, you're transmuting that energy from something really frustratingly negative into something a little bit more positive. The idea of talking, well, you know the benefits of talking, just venting and ranting, getting on the phone to someone, maybe even a video call if you want to show your face. But no, I often make phone calls when I'm feeling angry and pissed off, and it's just an added bonus having like a fidget toy. There's all sorts of ones that, stress toys specifically. What ones I'm kind of talking about. Yeah, it's just about getting that anger. It's kind of redirected into some sort of movement that isn't destructive. When you can't rationalise it, so I feel weird. I can't rationalise. What do I feel like? I don't understand it, but it feels intense. I'm not sure if it's a void or if I feel numb. I know I just feel weird. So, as I said, write, draw, or scribble, or do all 3. It's entirely up to you. Me personally, I love writing when I feel something, but I don't know what it is. I love to write because then eventually it turns into something that I understand. Yeah, may not be able to make sense of your feelings first, but writing really helps ease the imagination, helps you rationalise, make sense. It softens the blow as well. As I say, you can draw. You're all probably thinking, what's this a lovely picture he's going to draw? I haven't done art for years. I have not. So I'm not going to draw anything fancy. But drawing or doodling, however you want, it's entirely up to you. I'm not very good at drawing. I used to be really good at drawing. But just taking something that's in my imagination and just translating it onto a piece of paper using a pen or pencil, there's just something about that form of expression that really helps take the edge off things. And if drawing or writing isn't doing it for you, you know what you can do, don't you? Oh yeah, that feels good. Yeah, so that's one way to get a bit of a dopamine release. There'll be a little bit of endorphin release as well because of the strain in your hand. But yeah, it's a good way to do it. When self-harm urges strike, scream into a pillow and then reach out. Make a phone call. Speak to someone who cares. Speak to someone that you trust, someone loyal. They don't need to tell you anything good, they just need to listen. Screaming into a pillow may seem extreme, but honestly, screaming into a pillow like that is like trying to offload like 100 words or feelings at once. So, yeah, it may seem bizarre, but honestly, when you scream into that pillow, it's going to be able to relieve a lot of tension quite quickly. Now, I don't think I need to go through the benefits of bringing someone up and speaking to them on the phone. It speaks for itself. At the end of the day, you've got those emotions. Whether you can rationalise them or not, you need to get them off your chest and out your body. They need to be expressed, okay? And talking to someone that listens to you, even if they don't say anything, they don't need to say anything. They just need to be able to listen to you, just vent those intense urges. Right? I know it's really hard to talk to people when you feel like self-harming, but it's the thing that you've got to do, okay? You're not always going to be able to do it, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say that this whole video, you know, every single thing is really easy to do, but just like anything, it's practice makes perfect, okay? You know my thoughts on self-harm. I've got enough videos on this channel discussing it, and it's one thing at a time, yeah? And this is a really good thing to start with. It's a really good way of trying to get rid of those urges and keep yourself safe, yeah, and reach out to someone. As I say, they don't need to give you any words of advice back. They just need to listen. You just need to get on that phone after screaming into your pillow and just say whatever it is that you need to say to redirect those urges into something safer. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you've got anything that you would like to share down in the comments below, I would love to read about maybe something that you do, your go-to thing when you feel, you know, like you're experiencing some really intense emotions. Obviously, you guys that watch me, you know that I live with borderline personality disorder, and this video was kind of mostly directed at that, but it doesn't matter. You don't need to have borderline personality disorder to benefit from this video, because I know all different sort of mental health conditions, these 5 things that I've mentioned today, you know, they often fall under many different ones. But intense emotions is usually associated with borderline personality disorder, but honestly, you don't need to have borderline personality disorder to experience intense emotions from time to time. Okay? Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.